Hello, fellow Homestucks. It's Divine Erdrick, and we're going to talk about the ending. Again. So, the main purpose of this video is it's kind of a plea. Now, as time and distance has grown between us and 413, I've been noticing that more and more people have started to embrace the ending and understand what we think Hussey might have been doing with it. But there's still quite a few people who just don't accept the ending in its current format. And I do want to continue to say that that is okay. It is okay if you do not like the ending to Homestuck. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel that for many people, they were expecting the ending to be that final piece of revelation. You know, we've been putting this puzzle together for so long now, 7 years now, piece by piece, page by page, pester log by pester log. And now, you know, we should have all of the pieces out on the table. The ending should just be that last piece that sockets in, and then we understand the whole picture. And that's not what we got. We got an ending that is obviously intentionally ambiguous in some respects. An ending that in itself has many puzzling features to it. Many features that you actually have to analyze from a visual storytelling standpoint and dig deeper for their meaning. And I can understand if that was just too much at this point. You know, 7 years we've been working on this comic, 7 years we've been piecing together this puzzle. Should we really be expected to put any more pieces together at this point? And for me, with the puzzle being part of why I enjoyed Homestuck so much, that's fine. But if that's not okay to you and you just want to walk away from the puzzle at that point, well, that's also fine. But I would still ask that you consider coming back, even for just a little bit. Even for just that one more read through, that one more dig through theories and blog posts, that one more work of fan fiction that you had been thinking about, that one more art piece that you had always wanted to do. I would ask that you consider coming back for that, because even though the puzzle is not fully complete yet, and even though we may be receiving more pieces in the future in the form of the epilogue and hive swap, I feel like we've almost got everything there. I just finished my read-through not long ago, I should say my second read-through not long ago, and having done that, everything seems to slide into place and make a lot more sense now. But there's still a few little points that we still, I think, need to figure out. And every pair of eyes we have looking at Homestuck and looking for the final themes and ideas that Hussey was trying to put into the comic, I think is better. And in fact, if you are being critical of the comic because you were so upset with the ending, that's actually even better. That means that you can potentially, with that mindset, find things that people who are still fanboying or people who have some type of bias in favor of the comic and its ending at this point, and you could look at it with a completely different perspective and come up with something new. So I implore everyone who has just gotten fed up at this point to just give it that one more try and see if they can find that one last bit of revelation that they were still hoping to get, that to them the ending did not deliver. And again, this is not saying that you are wrong for being upset with the ending. Lots of people have voiced many different concerns as to why they think the ending failed, and this has been a wonderful fandom, and I want to give the fandom credit. So far, there haven't been that many people who have been like oh, I hate this ending, so everyone else has to hate it too. Most of what I've seen has been in the phrasing of, this is why the ending isn't good. But me personally, I haven't found an explanation for that I think is entirely airtight yet. Most of it is filled with very phallical thinking about what should have been expected from an ending to this story of this type, what story format Homestuck was, whether or not Homestuck could or should have ever fit certain basically storytelling 101 ideas of how you're supposed to tell a story. And some of them have just been completely, either they have strange ideas about narrative structure, or they seem to be almost completely clueless about how narrative structure is supposed to work. And again, this isn't to say that if you don't like the ending, your feelings aren't justified. It's just, it can take a lot of practice to formulate a reasoned review for something, especially if it was something that you liked. And one of the things you always have to worry about is, do you have any biases? Now for me, I am totally biased towards Homestuck. I've said before that the comic probably saved my life last year. The community, the friends I've made, the joy I've had from going through the fandom and just reading the comic itself has been of unending benefit to my life. And because of that, I'm going to be biased towards Homestuck and towards its ending. But there are some people who might be biased against the ending and not know it. So if you've got these ideas and you're having trouble verbalizing them, or you put these arguments together and people pick them apart. By the way, if I confront your argument and I try to pick it apart or counter it or anything like that, it's not because I think that you are objectively wrong. It's because I'm trying to understand what exactly your argument is. And again, some people just don't have the skill at being able to tell their argument yet. If I thought your argument was completely without merit and was just a trolling statement, I wouldn't answer it. So if you do see me answer negatively towards your argument, it's not because you're wrong, I'm right. It's because I'm not seeing the points you're making, or I don't think you're phrasing those points as correctly as you think you are. So if you're having trouble with formatting that argument, or maybe if you don't like Homestuck and you can't put your finger on why the ending ruined it for you, then maybe you should consider that you do have a bias that you're not aware of. And again, a lot of people are going to be like, we're all fans of this comic, we all love this comic, we all, worshipped Andrew, etc. and so forth. How could we possibly be biased against that? Well, my next few vlogs are actually going to cover those biases. And of course, this is going to lead to all kinds of flaming, and, as much as it's going to burn, just bring it on. I'll ask that when you're talking to each other in the comments, I'll ask that you try to be polite, but if you want to be as rude to me because you think I'm being preachy, or you think I'm just completely and totally full of it, go ahead, say whatever you want to in the comments towards me. But I do want to bring up 3 points. There are 3 things that, in my opinion, might bias a person against Homestuck, and especially against its ending. Now, one of them, you're probably going to be like, okay, I see your point. Another, you're going to be like, okay, you're probably full of it there. And then the final one, I have a feeling that even the most die-hard critic of Homestuck might actually look at and go, no, that's a solid point. So Stay tuned for those 3 biases. Now, obviously, this, if you like the ending, this isn't for you. Again, to me, this is the purpose of this is it is a plea to bring as many fans back, because I really do feel like we're on the cusp of solving this thing. You know, with some of the analysis I've seen from, you know, text talks, the theory crafting that has happened from Wakraya and Not Teresi Pyrope, oh darn it, I can't remember the name of the blogger who posted the other theory I read that I really liked. But there's still relatively few theories out there, in my opinion. When you compare that to just the bulk of amazing theory crafting that was happening before, it really does feel like people have walked away, and I just want you to come back and just give it that one more look. And I know some people are just done. They're not going to be able to look at Homestuck again. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that in years past, with Homestuck will still be here on the internet, there will be a day when you're going to think back fondly on all the times you spent with Homestuck, and you'll come back and reread it, and maybe even find that you enjoy it again. But, you know, if you're completely done, I can totally understand that too. I know that a lot of people invested a lot into this comic, and to not receive, for lack of a better word, the closure that they were hoping for really, really hurt them. But if at all possible, again, that is my hope, that is my wish, just that one more look, that one more attempt to try to piece the final puzzle together and come up with that last theory, that last criticism, that last idea, no matter how out there or harsh or fanboying or girling that it is. You never know where that last connection is going to come from that will finally make everything make sense for the comic. So that's my hope. Again, stay tuned. I'm going to talk a little bit about those biases. Until then, this is Divine Erdrick. I hope that you'll consider what I said, and I will see all of you in my next vlog.